Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Chat with Cath. With every chatter reveals the beauty of connection, bringing out the storyteller in us. I'm so excited to finally be here because in today's episode, I will take you on a journey of humble beginnings to remarkable success. Our guest for today is a true pioneer in the world of fundraising, a self-made millionaire whose story will inspire us all. Let's welcome Mr. Gio De Guia. Hi, boss!
Hi, Cath. How
Hello.
are you?
I'm good. Kinakabahan ako, boss.
Nakabahan ka?
Oo, ikaw kasi.
Congratulations. Ito na, natupad na.
Oo nga, thank you. So, boss, kamusta ka naman?
Okay naman, I'm fine.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
I'm honored.
I'm so excited, boss, na of course, hindi lang kami yung ma-inspire sa story mo because whenever we share your story with other people outside FunPro or outside the fundraising industry, nai-inspire sila. So,
Talaga ba?
Yes. Yes. Anyway, so Mr. Gio here is the CEO and founder of FunPro Marketing International, the leading and most prominent Filipino-owned company in the Philippines.
May Malaysia din sa may Thailand, di ba?
Yes. Soon yun, boss, di ba?
Meron na yung Malaysia.
Yes, meron na yung Malaysia. Okay, we'll get into that.
Okay.
Anyway, so Mr. Gio, can you share your humble beginnings, the story of your humble beginnings?
Okay, so where do I start? So I started this company 7 years ago. But before that, way back, siguro mga 12, 13 years ago, I started doing fundraising 2009, 2010.
You were a fundraiser.
I was a fundraiser. I took up hotel management.
Oh, malayo.
Medyo malayo yung course
Medyo
ko.
malayo.
I was bound to be a hotelier, but I fell in love with what I did with fundraising, so I stayed.
How many years ka nag-fundraise muna before starting?
Total, in my first company na fundraising, siguro almost 3 years.
3 years.
Tapos nag-corporate din ako. I was involved with different startups and different corporate jobs.
Okay. What inspired you or motivated you to parang nasabi mo sa sarili mo na gusto kong magtayo ng company, fundraising company?
It's not really about I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur kasi I saw it in my parents. Both my parents were business people. They started very young. Actually, mas bata sila nung nagka-business sila. They started college actually because they had me very young. Parang 18, 19, they had me already. So they started very young. They put up their business. Siguro mga 18, 19 years old sila. And that really was my gauge of success as early on na for you to become successful, you need to put up your own. Siguro yun yung naging mentality ko as a child. Kasi yun yung kinalakihan ko eh.
So, your parents were parang mga 19, 20 when they started the business. And you were young then, di ba?
Oh, I was exposed. Exposed na ako in the business.
In the business. No, what I mean is when you started FunPro, di ba, you were young also. You were, I think, 20.
Mga 27.
27.
Para sa akin, late na nga yun eh.
Late na yun.
Late na. Parang it should have been earlier kasi ilang years ako nag-hesitate mag-put up ng business.
Ano yung mga hesitations na yun? Like,
siguro,
of course,
capital.
Capital.
Yun yung unang iisipin mo. Parang I think that's the misconception in a lot of people who wanted to start their own business is feeling nila they need capital to start. So I think what you really need is knowledge. More than capital, you need the knowledge first.
Knowledge first before the capital. So, my first question siguro, boss, is can you share the story of how you started your company or your business?
Okay, so with FunPro, so medyo it came in a very good timing. Kasi I was a fundraiser for this charity a long time ago. Tapos we found out that they're looking for a fundraising company to set up a new campaign. So they approached us, me and Rika. Pero to be honest, during that time, Rika's my wife, my girlfriend back then and partner. Parang she had hesitation of doing this. Not because she doesn't like what we're doing. It's because of the, environment. Taka we had good jobs back then. We were living comfortably. We had a car. We were, making okay money. But siguro deep inside, I wanted more. Parang there's still unfinished business that I have to pursue. Kasi nung nag-start ako sa fundraising before, the company that we worked in or at, parang it did not deliver to the promise that they had, that they will give us good life, good careers. Parang hindi siya na-deliver. So, parang I had that, duty in me to deliver that locally in the Philippines. So, 2016 when we started, so we also got married the same year. To be honest, starting is, I think the biggest challenge is finding the right people to begin your business. Kasi to be honest, it was very hard. We had, when you're starting, no one would believe you.
Yeah. Even your friends?
Lahat. It's not naman that they don't believe you, but they're not in the journey. Parang sige, pursue mo yan, pero hindi ako sasama sa journey mo. Tsaka na lang, pag successful ka na. Parang ganun lagi. So, I think over time, I should say siguro, if you found Fund Pro at its first year, I'm very sure hindi ka sasali. Hindi ka sasali.
Really?
Hindi ka sasali. So, I think parang in those years, we paved the way to make sure that, it's very attractive for people like you to join this business. Ayun. So, long story short, we, time after time, we were able to, recruit good people, great people. And I think, sooner or later, ito na. So I think the secret there is really, number one, finding the right people to work in your business and making sure they stay and they're happy.
Like what you said, if you want to start something and make it successful, diba, you have to find the right people because not everyone will be on board with you. And do you think having Miss Rica by your side is a great help, lalo na,
naman.
Diba?
I think, kasi if you don't start with the right people around you, parang if you don't have the support system meaning not just morally, not just emotionally or moral support, it's the skills and the talents that they also bring in. So, without those, first few people who started with us, like Marco, sino ba? Rica, and the likes of the other admins, I think, it's going to be hard. So, siguro my advice on people who want to start something is, you have to make sure you have the right team.
You have the right team.
Kasi kung hindi, it's going to be hard. You can still do it without a team, like you're solo ka. Pero, it's going to be hard. Kasi, as an entrepreneur, I think my role is not to be the best at what I do, but to make sure that I find people who are at best at what they do and, put them all together.
You've mentioned earlier, di ba, boss, na you need to find the right people with different talents na you think and you believe that can contribute to your company or your business or the success. And for you, as the driver of the business or the driver of the company, what do you think is your greatest talent or strength?
I can't say it's a talent, pero ako, I always look into the future. Parang whenever I hire someone, I just don't see that person 3 months, 6 months, 1 year in the company. Parang I try to see that person in 5 to 10 years. Parang, if I hire this person, can this person be a manager someday? Can he or she replace me? Parang I always try to find the maximum or optimal talent nung tao na yun. Yung full potential niya. Yun yung hinahanap ko agad. Hindi yung lang yung kaya niya in the next 3 to 6 months. Kung kaya niya ba yung trabaho. It's not really that. I try to look way beyond the job description and look into the future kung, this person can really be successful. And siguro, I think if you say a talent, parang a lot of the people that I work with, parang what I see in them, they don't see in themselves right away.
And how do you make them see kung ano yung nakikita mo?
I tell them na pwede ka maging ganito.
Pero may times ba na nagkamali ka na in terms of parang...
Ako hindi ako nagkamali. Ang nagkakamali sila.
Hindi, for example, sabi mo, itong taong to, I know that he or she can be successful. I know he or she can be the next manager, the next parang partner of the company. Pero, at the end of the day, nagkamali ka doon sa judgment mo.
Hindi ako nagkakamali sa judgment. Nagkamali yung tao. Kasi kaya niyang ma-achieve yung gusto namin both ma-achieve. Okay. Pero siya yung nag-fail.
Okay.
Kumbaga, nag-fail siya kasi meron siyang hindi ginawa or meron siyang ginawa that led him or her for him, not to be successful. Pero alam ko, kung ginawa niya yung kailangan gawin, na-achieve niya.
And as his or her leader, paano mo mapapa-realize sa kanya na meron pa?
Ako siguro as long as that person hindi siya sumusuko sa gusto niyang ma-achieve. Kasi actually, parang we have a lot of people in this company who are not quitters. I think I should say that. Parang, if they have quit, kung nag-quit sila early on, most of them shouldn't be here anymore. Mm-hmm. Pero they did not quit. That's why they were able to achieve what they want. So I think it's just, parang, they're bound to be where they are supposed to be. Basta gawin lang nila yung tamang kailangan gawin.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright. So, boss, I'm sure starting a company or a business from the ground up has its own challenges or struggles or discouragements. So, for you, what are the most challenging times na face mo from starting pa lang yung company?
Siguro I think one of the biggest challenge is yourself, parang your insecurities. Parang starting this, parang kaya ko ba? Parang I think yun lang naman yun eh. I think that's the root of all the challenges is me telling myself, kaya ko ba talaga? Mm-hmm. And I think, kasi parang sa 7-8 years natin ginagawa to, parang for me parang there was never a challenge or problem or issue that we weren't able to overcome. So, I think the biggest challenge talaga is self-belief. Kasi kasi there are times talaga na I doubt myself. Parang, bakit ba sila makikinig sa akin? Hindi naman ako magaling. Hindi naman ako magaling na owner, na business, na entrepreneur. Minsan iniisip ko, ba't makikinig yung mga clients sa amin? Hindi naman kami ganun kalaki. So, there's still self-doubt within yourself. And I think that's the biggest challenge. And I think, and then siguro meron pa sometimes, as a business person, since you see everything sa business, parang, I always tell my people na whatever problem you see is just the tip of the iceberg. And then siguro as an owner, there are times that you keep the problem to yourself and you don't share it to everybody kasi feeling mo they don't need to know the problem. But I think to solve that, you should know, at least in the business, you should know who to tell your problems kasi other people in the business has solutions. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the ways I've overcome this business is, you have to find your own mentor.
We have to find
kasi if you don't have someone looking up to in my level, kasi in our org chart ako na yung nasa taas, di ba? Mm-hmm. So who do I look up? So I always find external mentors. Regardless kung may experience din sila sa business na to, anything in life. So, siguro, currently, I have around 3 to 4 mentors that I talk to in a regular basis. To get advice, to get, insights, to get motivation, to get their opinion.
So I know it's really important that meron kang mentor, meron kang coach, 'di ba? Kasi dito sa company very rampant yung may coach, may mentor. Pero most of the time din hindi namin alam yung difference ng mentor at saka coach. So ano ba yung parang for you, ano ba yung pinagkaiba ng mentor at saka ng coach?
In the definition itself, I'm not so sure. Pero, a coach is someone who is more, coach is someone who's more technical, who's gonna guide you, do this, do that, you know. For me, a mentor doesn't have to give instructions. Parang, the very presence of that, makausap mo lang siya, okay ka na. Parang you get juice out of him or her. Makausap mo lang siya, you get outside input. So, yeah, it's very important to have, sometimes your mentor is your coach, diba? Your coach is your mentor. So, siguro, you have to find different coaches and mentors kasi iba-iba din sila na output, diba?
You've mentioned earlier, di ba, boss, na you have to set proper boundaries also with your personal life and then with your business life. First question siguro, is it difficult for you to be working with your wife or your family members and your friends? And if yes or no, how do you parang separate or balance your personal life with your professional life?
Okay, sige. First is, working with family, I think it depends with your personal relationship with your family. So, with my wife, I think it works very well kasi we have our different strengths. And our strengths are complementing each other. So she's very detail-oriented. Ako, I'm very, on the go, very creative.
Action.
So whatever I want to implement, whatever I think of, she implements. Parang ganon. So parang, in that sense, parang, we mesh together. Work-life balance, I should say, parang, to define it, in some cases, there's no balance. There's no balance, but there's, work-life harmony or synchronization.
Work-life harmony.
Kasi, my work is my life is my work. Parang ganun na yung approach ko with my career. Kasi parang, you have to understand, work is a third of your life. And then the other third is family. Another third is what? Sleep. Ito naman, di ba? So, as long as you know how to, not really balance. Kasi you cannot find balance. Kasi you have to come up with kung ano yung priority mo in life eh. Kung gusto mo maging family man or let's say housewife, you have to, focus on your family, yung education ng kids. Pero kung, you're focusing on building your business, building, your enterprise, you should put in more time there. So, in this sense, siguro parang I try to make both successful. So, I incorporate my family in the business na rin. So, I think my advice with people, if you're in a certain career or, certain work or certain business, this is always asked yung how do you balance your time. So I should say parang I've learned this with someone parang for you to achieve your dreams, you have to make sure you have enough resources. So where do you get the resources?
From your work.
Sa work, diba? So freedom will eventually come.
Parang ano lang din yun, boss, no? Yung parang different seasons of your life. Kung ngayon, kailangan ka as a career
Correct.
woman or career man, dun mas mo igugugol yung oras mo. And then after how many years, if you are more needed kasi nga, kunyari, for example, yung season mo na is about being married, tapos being a father, dun mo na mas igugugol din.
Tapos siguro, I'm now in a siguro talking about season, kasi for me, there's three elements in your success. First is your health, second is money, third is time. Parang I should say, if you're in your late 20s to early 30s to maybe even late 30s, this is the only moment that those three will be at its highest. Ibig sabihin, you're at your peak health-wise, you're at your peak time-wise, kasi kahit pa paano may freedom ka, and then you're at your peak money-wise. Kasi this is the moment that you're boom yung career mo. So, while you have those three, you have to maximize. Kasi kung hindi, either of the three will come first. Either yung mauna yung health, mauna yung freedom, or mauna yung money.
Yeah. And I think I remember you've mentioned before, boss, naturo mo din sa amin na parang you don't want your future self to be sorry because of the things that you did with your parang your present self.
Correct.
So ngayon na tinatakal natin yung balancing your personal and then your business life. Ikaw ngayon sa tingin mo, yung ginagawa mo ba ngayon sa present self mo, your future self will thank you?
Good question. So I read something a while ago. Or not a while ago. Like, I read something. It's very alarming. Pero, siguro, you should take this too. Parang, once you become a parent, parang, ang sabi dun it's a phrase or a saying, the only people who will remember you working hard 20 years ago is your kids. So, kung gaano ka kasipag, siyempre, hindi na malala ng boss mo yan, mga tao mo yan. So, I think that's where you strike off the balance. Kasi, of course, family is very important. So, kasi ba't ka naman mag-work, di ba? Para naman sa kanila. So, I think that's the root of everything is you have to be family-centric in what you do. Parang dapat lahat to para sa kanila pa rin.
With that being said, boss, so if you're going to reflect on your journey, is there anything na you would have done differently given a chance?
It's a very hard question. Kasi, in this career journey, we've done some things na we should have not done. Let's say, sometimes kasi you're too, parang siguro may problem with my leadership is sometimes I'm too giving and too forgiving.
Too giving and forgiving.
Parang some people did not deserve what they've gotten.
Like yung second chance.
Second chance, third chance, or sometimes we thought that this person is, worthy of, what he or she had gotten or this yung nakuha niya. But that's all in the past. Pero siguro what I can really say is, siguro if I would reflect, if there's anything I would change, siguro in terms of direction, none. Kasi parang, what I really like with what we do is everything is unexpectable. So, we would never thought that, we would be where we are.
Globally.
Who would have thought we're operating not just locally, but in different parts of the world. So, I think, every step that we took was necessary, regardless if it was bad or good. So I think, to answer your question.
So, boss, can you share an experience wherein you took a huge risk and then
it paid off?
It paid off.
I think siguro, top of mind, you were here during the pandemic, di ba?
Yeah.
So I think the pandemic was one of the deciding moments of our existence. Because, to be honest, I thought after the pandemic, we're gonna close already. Parang there's no risk. Siyempre, face-to-face tayo.
Tsaka parang third year operating
third year pa lang, face-to-face, non-essential. So I think what really, the risk that we did with the help of some of our clients is, kahit pandemic, we took everybody in terms of, we were still paying you guys' salary. Kahit, I think that was 3 months straight. I know it was a risk kasi kung magsara tayo, wala. Sayang yung 3 months. Pero I know those 3 months were very crucial because everybody was struggling. And I think that's one of the reasons why most of you stayed, lalo na yung mga talagang those who mattered. And I think another risk was, starting early in the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think if people would have known the risk we took then, no pandemic, people would be shaking their heads. Kasi we risk going to the field
Yeah.
even without vaccines pa and all. And, some of us got COVID. I think but I think without that boost kasi we were ahead of everyone. So I think that gave us an advantage. And, we were able to recruit good people during the pandemic.
Yes.
Not just good, actually, great people from different industries. Na I think kung hindi nag-pandemic, these people would have not, came into our doors. So I think, yeah.
So, since na pag-usapan na rin natin, boss, yung parang moment na pinaka na-challenge din tayo with regards to pandemic. So, how do you stay motivated in those challenging times?
Okay, so this is how I reboot myself. Every time I feel like anxious or problematic, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sleep.
Sleep?
Itutulog ko siya.
Okay.
Regardless how bad I feel, parang kailangan ko ng natural reboot ng katawan. Kung baga sa computer, nag-overheat,
Restart.
kailangan mo patayin yung computer. So I sleep it through. And kasi I think sleep gives you energy and calmness. Tapos, what keeps me motivated during challenging times, I think a lot of business people or even career-oriented people forget to have fun.
Have fun.
They forget to bring in the child in them, the childlike in them. So ako, I do a lot of games. I do a lot of play. I do sports. I do games with friends. I still play computer. So it just doesn't take off the stress. It brings you back to your childhood. Kasi pag bata ka, wala problema, di ba?
Yes.
So parang feeling mo bata ka ulit, wala kang problema. And then, sometimes while you're in play, doon lumalabas yung creative juice na, ito gawin mo sa problema mo. So, okay. And then, back to work again.
Yeah. I think that's important also, no? Na hindi na nawawala yung pagiging...
Kasi minsan, kahit nakala nila matanda ka na, hindi ka na pwede maglaro. Diba? And I think that's how you keep yourself in check and sane. Ikaw, anong playtime mo? Anong ginagawa mo?
What I usually do is read.
Read.
And then journal.
Ayun. Kanya-kanya naman tayo.
Yes.
Hindi ako marunong magbasa eh. Joke. Joke lang.
Siguro gusto ko rin malaman, boss, is how do you keep a positive culture in your company?
Sige. I think whenever you build a culture, it always has to come from the top. So if you're fun, everybody below you would have that sense na they have to have fun as well. Parang ako, for example, meron akong pinasokang work before. Yung boss namin sobrang toxic. Mahilig sa chismis, mahilig sa drama. And then everybody below that organization ganun na rin.
Parang as above,
so who you are your organization. So I think how I keep positive culture is number one, I make sure that everybody is humble in the organization. So if you could see like managers, top managers, parang walang mayabang. Kasi I myself, I don't see myself as, boastful or arrogant. Kasi kung merong ganun sa baba, kaya na tayo lahat humble, tapos bilang may magiging mayabang sa baba, parang madali nating madidispel yun or matatanggal kasi, walang ganun sa org eh. So we can, take that person out or, teach that person the right way. While kung merong sa taas, ganun, it's hard.
Yeah.
Kasi everybody will just follow. Positive culture also means, this is what I don't like with the culture now. Like I always see this in social media na parang it's frowned upon when companies says that they're a family. I think it's being used the wrong way with some companies kasi they use the word family in their benefit. Parang if you want to be a family-oriented business, you have to put the family to the benefit of the employees. When you say that, parang family tayo so ibig sabihin okay lang na mag-overtime ka, okay lang na magsabihan, alam mo yun? So parang to the benefit of the company yun eh. Pero you have to use the word, we're a family to the benefit of your people. So how do you do that? So you can do that by, kita mo na yung tao mo, pagod, o sige, mag-rest day ka na bukas. Diba? O sige na, may importante ka lakad. Sige, mag-leave ka na bukas. Diba? You have to show the care that you give to your family, to your workmates or to your colleagues to say na talagang, we're a family. So, ayun.
So, you mentioned earlier, boss, na you started this business young. You were like 26, 27 years old. And nakikita ko din actually ngayon sa mga social media na a lot of young people wants to be an entrepreneur or a businessman. Kasi may mga 21 years old, nagbibuild na sila ng mga coffee shops nila, may mga 25, nagbibuild ng kanilang sariling clothing line. So, siguro, ang gusto ko lang malaman is, what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who want to start their business, mga early to mid-20s? Ganyan.
Well, first of all, when you start something, it has to be your passion.
Passion.
Kasi if you're just being, pressured by people around you who are successful, business na rin ako, ayoko na mag-empleyado, business na lang ako, or, it's not an escape. Having a business is not an escape for being na mas mahirap maging empleyado. No, it's not that. So, you have to be passionate with the business or the career you want to enter. Kasi, if you're not good at your passion, parang ganito yan, bilang example. Kunyari, you're a very passionate singer. Pero off-tune ka kumanta. Do you think you'll be successful? At the beginning,
Hindi pa.
Hindi. So, what do you need to do? Para
Practice,
kagaling. You have to educate yourself. You have to fine-tune yourself to the chosen passion. Diba? Kasi you won't be successful in the line of work that you want, that you're passionate about, if you're not good at it. Hindi ka naman pwedeng sobrang gusto ko I'm passionate about basketball. Pero you're not a good basketball player. Yeah, you have the passion, you have the spirit. Pero if you don't have the raw skills, if you don't know the fundamentals, if you don't know, the advanced techniques, how can you move forward? Siguro what advice I can give to young aspiring entrepreneurs is when they want to enter something, they have to have passion. Not just passion, they have to be good at what they're passionate about. Kasi if they don't know anything about, gusto mo maging vlogger or whatever. If you don't know the fundamentals to it, you won't be successful. For example, basketball. I'm very passionate about basketball, pero hindi ako magaling. So how can I be successful at that? So there's still chance because you can, educate yourself, you can train yourself, you can, fine-tune yourself. Kasi parang, okay, last example, you wanna be a singer. Pero as a singer, you're off tune or you don't know the fundamentals. So how can you be a successful singer if you don't know, if you're not knowledgeable of the techniques that you need to know? So I think as advice to entrepreneurs in their 20s, you have to be knowledgeable in what you want. Kasi if you don't learn what you want, you don't learn the things that you need to learn about your chosen path, you're just going to be you're just going to be mediocre. You always have to you want to be the best in your space. And ako, I should say, at least, I've proven to myself na, at least in the Philippines, I'm the best at my space. What I can really say is, for you to be great at what, as an entrepreneur, you have to be the greatest in your space. You have to be the best. Siguro ako, I've come into a point na I feel not just self-validation. Siguro it's reality na I am the best at what I do. And that should be the goal or the aspiration of everybody who want to achieve something. Kasi if you're not going to think that you're going to be the best, sayang lang. Diba?
Yeah.
Are you the best at what you do, Kat?
I believe so.
Very good.
Humble tayo, boss. Okay. Sabi mo humble kayo. So, siguro we can wrap this up with the last question. Looking ahead, what are your goals or your aspirations pa for your business?
Siguro number one, I want to secure stability and growth. I know we're being ambitious with what we have right now. We have we're operating in what 4 or 5 countries, but more than the success and the peak of our success, I want to make sure that we build a stable organization. Kasi sige, magiging successful ka nga, pero how can you ensure na it lasts? It becomes a legacy. So siguro I'm in that role na I want to make sure that whatever we've built now will last not just our generation but the next generations. So hopefully this business or this organization we've built would see the light of day in even the next century, and that would be a dream, diba?
Wow, thank you, boss. We were
You're welcome.
very inspired with your story. We learned a lot I personally learned a lot from you. 5 years na ako natututo sa'yo. And ngayon, yung mga na-share mo din, sobrang bago din siya sa pangrinig ko. And thank you so much for making time for this.
Thanks for
chat
having
with
me.
Yes, I know you're such a busy man.
Okay.
And then you made time for this. Thank you so much for guesting. I know this is not the first and last time na mag-guest ka sa chat with
Tsaka na
Cath.
pag
boss?
sikat ka na ulit.
Pagsikat na ulit. Thank you so much for making this happen, and thank you for being my first ever guest
You're
for
welcome.
our chat with Cath.
I'm honored.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. And if you learn a lot from this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to share. Thank you. Till the next episode of Chat with Cath.